Hi, my name is Andé. Welcome to my podcast, The Airhead Diaries, a chronic illness warrior's journal with Andé. Hi, Andé here. Hope that you are well and thriving. Jumping in, I just want to encourage everyone who is lonely or has a chronic illness and feels lonely. It's a miserable feeling being surrounded by people that understand hurt and they don't understand sickness. It's the craziest thing in the world to be pitied for being different, especially when you know you are different, but oddly still feel the same, and you want people to see you for who you are, but they don't. Not to play the victim in any circumstance, but that is hard. Being disabled is hard work. It is not laying on the couch, and interactions with people tend to take everything out of me, and I know I'm not alone. So, dates are very, very hard for me. Going out and meeting a man is hard because the when and how to navigate the wilderness of telling my circumstance and attempting some type of normalcy because #guys like the normal, or feeling that way that they do like normal people and they couldn't love me is hard. When I'm my true self, because, every girl says, just be yourself and they'll love you. No. When I'm my true self, I'm slipping with an illness, and I've learned that I scare people off by the things that I might say or do. They'll never get to know me scaring the heck out of them. But if you think about it, really think about what we have become as a society. We have become people that don't like others who are different than us. And I think a part of that is human nature. Different, almost like a bad word, doesn't really help me on the dating spectrum. So I'm a very trusting person when it comes to a stranger. I am always bearing my soul, sometimes a little too soon. Trusting. In the Cambridge Dictionary, it's always believing that other people are good or honest and will not harm or deceive you. But when I'm trusting, things slip out, like what illness I have and the full name, not just I have a rare disease like paraneoplastic limbic encephalitis, the doctor's appointment I had 2 days ago, or maybe even the new medication I'm on that's making me feel sick, and it dominates the conversation. And the whole talk just turns catastrophic really quick. And the trust factor, that factor has plagued me. I am trusting the wrong people with words, and I realize how powerful they are, but they just keep slipping out. And sometimes they even come back to bite me in the butt. I was stunned that anyone could dare use my mostly pure-hearted words against me. Don't act like it doesn't happen to you. Slander, lies, gossip, telephone games from a pure-hearted conversation taken the wrong way. The problem with me is I have too many pure-hearted conversations. And I'm just keeping it 100. For me, it happens a lot because of my brain and my neurological stuff and the way it works now. And in some ways, it's the way I've always been. But in my illness, every little thing is magnified. And when that stuff comes back to bite me, I shrink back I busy myself inside of my four walls. I've never had a boyfriend as long as I've been sick. And I don't want you to judge me on that. And I will never judge you on the parts of life that you might not be fully grown in either. Christian culture is a big part of my life, more than I actually talk about on this podcast. And the worst part of dating, the worst part of all of this, is a weakness in this culture, besides hypocrisy, are expectations and obligations. I feel like sometimes, even me as a Christian, I feel tied to people rather than God. So first of all, none of this is Christian. It's more like the fall of man. I'll tell you a story. I first saw a guy from across the hall. He was visiting at a singles party 2 weeks before. So I went up to him and we had a good conversation. I saw him later when I went out of town and he asked me out. The worst date I went on actually didn't really start that bad. We were walking along the beach. Yes, there was a sunset. Yes, this is a true story. And we were talking about life in church and heart-to-heart subjects I don't dare share on this podcast. It was like we had known each other for a really long time, and I felt I was getting somewhere with someone for the very first time. And then it slipped. The C word, the I word, the L word, all the words, chronic illness. I might as well have said, can we go on a steady decline? Can I also say that the third double-handed part of Christianity can be the trusting nature of people and the justified lack of boundaries? I am going on dates where people want to know your whole life story on the first date. The pressure is on and I slip. I won't lie, I faced plant entirely in the name of vulnerability. I've said some dumb, weird, and stupid stuff. Haven't we all? I've taken out my bag of medications on the first date. I can still hear it rattling and making a scene, even just digging through my purse. Or the times I bring a pill box and discreetly throw 8 pills back, like a boss, but not exactly a good look. So if you got this far and didn't know that I'm not all the way there, God bless your heart. So how did I come to be overly trusting in the early 20s to kind of being still overly trusting but also hiding from the world? Bad interactions, terrible ones. He never spoke to me again. Not just in romantic relationships does this happen to me. Rejection in friendships and interactions are a daily struggle. I'll face it, I interact differently. Like a small fish in a big sea, I navigate cautiously and slowly. That's overwhelming to meet someone like me. And I realize that. Most of the time, though. For others, it's just not personal, just a blip to stay away. I'm the type of person that needs another person to tell me when I'm being weird. I need a loving person, a patient person that doesn't scare so easily. I want that type of life partner, man in my life. So, I know what you're thinking, but we really aren't going to talk about it. Sex. It's non-existent. And how sad is that? So here I am, manless, sexless, and fighting to not buy a desperate cat. Or be someone else's desperate cat. And about being happy with me. What happens when you're not happy with yourself? Yes, I am grateful to know that I am enough. But Do I really know? For those with confidence in leaps and bounds, what has helped you along your journey? Write to me, tweet me, contact me, I need you. I can be insecure, and I refuse to date anymore until I find myself more. I actually haven't been on a single date in 2 years, but I'm waking up to a new me every single day, and that's progress. I'm doing better with brushing people off that brush me off first. They don't deserve my time, and I'm learning that they don't deserve to win. I ask myself now, Andé, are you going out with this person because you genuinely think that they care for you? Why are you paying this person? Is it for their services? Or is it because you don't think you deserve anything but an awkward conversation and a snatched 20? If the answer is no, I don't go. I'm so far from the person who would have begged to hang out with anyone to be a fly on the wall, just to say I went. But I still have a ways to go. I'm doing even better now, actively searching for my purpose in ways I didn't even know how. Last week, I was at the Young Women's Empowerment Conference. I was a vendor sharing my podcast at an event that stood for everything that I want to do. I set up a photo booth and had some related signs to the conference, and some not. An example of an unrelated sign would be Jonas Week, because the Jonas Brothers have made a comeback, as my sister has reminded everybody, including Facebook. Anyway, I know this was short, but I also hope that you are starting to feel more connected as I share with you some real stuff. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. If you are enjoying this podcast and have not gotten a chance to review, please do so, as it would definitely help this podcast. And I will see you so soon. Please enjoy, and this is the Airhead Diaries, a chronic illness warrior's journal with Andé. Thank you.